Hello, everyone. It's wonderful to see you again. We truly appreciate your presence with us today. A fresh tale awaits your ears. So let us embark on this journey together. I'm Ryan, and today I wish to share my journey with you. It's about a person I had cherished for years, someone I held in deep trust, someone I envisioned sharing my life with forever. Yet, in an instant, the world transformed completely. In that moment, I discovered not only her true essence, but also the truths I had overlooked for far too long. Before I delve into the events that unfolded, let me transport you to the beginning, to a time when everything felt right. Because whether you accept it or not, they had their charm, or at least that's how I perceived it. Amelia Ann, I shared a deep connection that had blossomed over the years. We were not just a couple swept away by the moment. Our journey was woven with shared memories and deep connections. I stood by her side through each chapter of her journey, long before she embraced her dream role at a prestigious consulting firm. During the times when she was searching for her path, uncertain of what to do next, I stood by her, offering my unwavering support. I supported her, assisted her in preparing for interviews, and spent late nights by her side as she shared her feelings about the disappointment of rejection emails. I held faith in her, even in moments when she questioned her own worth. And I always ensured she felt cherished and valued. Capturing moments through photography has always been my deepest aspiration. It transcended mere pastime. It was the essence of my being, a deep-seated passion that defined my journey. I poured my heart and soul into it. With dedication and perseverance, I gathered my resources and invested in the camera gear that spoke to my aspirations. I crafted a compelling portfolio from the ground up, evolving from capturing intimate local events to having my work celebrated in esteemed magazines. And I wasn't merely getting by, I was thriving. I felt a deep sense of fulfillment in what I had created. Initially, Amelia shared in my pride as well. I recall the way she spoke of my work, her voice laced with admiration and warmth. She would share with others that David possesses an extraordinary talent. His photographs evoke a deep sense of wonder. She would proudly share my pictures with her friends, reminiscing about the moment my work was recognized and celebrated. I truly believe she recognized the essence of who I am. A person who transformed his passion into something tangible, something that resonates deeply. I never imagined that anything could shift in that moment, yet gradually began to unfold. Initially, there were subtle remarks that barely registered with me. Amelia had recently embarked on her journey at a consulting firm, and I could sense the weight of expectations resting heavily upon her. Endless hours, significant clients, and an entirely new realm she was striving to embrace. I thought that if she was feeling a bit overwhelmed, I could take care of it. Yet, the manner in which she spoke about my work began to shift. It lacked overt disrespect, at least in the beginning. It was during dinner, as we discussed our wedding plans for the first time, that something special unfolded between us. A wave of excitement washed over me as I spoke about the new camera lens I had been eagerly saving for. She let out a soft sigh and remarked, "You ought to find a real job with a steady income. Weddings carry a significant cost, as you might imagine." Her laughter followed her words, as if they were a playful tease. I hardly gave a second thought. Some weeks later, we found ourselves wandering through a mall when she caught sight of a coworker. She offered a gentle wave in her direction, yet the invitation for me to join her lingered in the air, unspoken for a moment longer. When she returned to me, she explained that she hadn't called me over to say hello because she was uncertain about how she had introduced me to her colleague. I recall that moment, standing there, enveloped in a haze of uncertainty. I attempted to dismiss it, reassuring myself that her words were simply meant to be playful. Yet, on the third occasion, her intentions were unmistakably clear. We were at home, engaged in a casual conversation, when she unexpectedly remarked, photography is lovely and all, but it's not really a career, is it?" She spoke with a nonchalance that belied the weight of her words, as if she were unaware of the emotions they stirred. In that instant, everything became clear to me. She spoke with a sincerity that left no room for doubt. She truly held that belief close to her heart. She perceived my efforts, the creation I nurtured from its very foundation, as merely a pastime, not a genuine vocation. Yet I allowed it to pass by. I found myself justifying her actions, soothing my heart with the belief that her intentions were pure. After all, this was Vanessa, the woman who had captured my heart for years. She had always been my unwavering support, so I chose to overlook it. I reassured myself that it was nothing to worry about. Yet, in reflection, that was where it all began to unravel. Amelia extends a warm invitation for me to join her as a special guest at her company's annual office gathering. The venue exuded elegance, a private event hall adorned with glass walls and contemporary decor, filled with a sea of impeccably dressed individuals who seemed perfectly at home in this sophisticated setting. Each person radiated a refined assurance, accompanied by effortless smiles that seemed to invite connection. I wasn't frightened, not in that way, but I sensed the distinct divide between their realm and my own. Their movements, their words, carried an allure that spoke of opportunities, ambitions, and the promise of success. I understood that I didn't conform to that ideal, yet I held no shame for my choices. My work filled me with a deep sense of joy. Amelia had welcomed me into an intimate circle of her colleagues, 4 or 5 of them, each cradling a drink, engaged in lively conversation about their work and adventures around the world. I lingered beside her, my presence a quiet affirmation as they engaged in conversation about an exciting project with renowned clients. Then, one of them, a man in a sharp navy suit, likely close to our age, turned to me and inquired, "So, Ryan, what is it that you do?" His tone held a certain politeness, yet I sensed an underlying current of assumptions about me. Perhaps he imagined I was involved in consulting, or perhaps in the tech world, something that resonated with the atmosphere surrounding us. Before I had the chance to respond, Amelia spoke first. She released a soft, playful scoff, the sort that hints at a delightful quip just waiting to be shared. "Oh, Ryan," she murmured, a playful smile gracing her lips as she twirled her drink gently. "His work revolves around capturing exquisite moments for a living." As soon as those words escaped her lips, a wave of laughter enveloped the group. This was pure delight, as if she had just shared the most enchanting story of the evening. Some of them shared knowing glances, their smiles hinting at a newfound understanding of me that lingered in the air. One of the women smiled softly and remarked, "Oh, that's lovely." I stood there, enveloped by the warmth of laughter, and in that moment, I truly saw Amelia for the first time. This was more than a mere mistake, far from a light-hearted jest. This was the way she truly perceived me, the way she had likely always perceived me. In her gaze, I was merely a man capturing moments for a living. It struck me deeply, those subtle remarks she had whispered in the past, the veiled jabs, the way she faltered when others inquired about my pursuits. Everything fell into place at last. She held a distance that spoke volumes. She felt a sense of hesitation in being with me. To her, my career felt intangible, lacking the dignity to stand alongside hers. In that fleeting moment, a singular truth enveloped me. I refused to dedicate my life to someone who failed to see my worth. I recall the moment, holding my drink with a firmer grasp, taking a deep breath to find my balance. I placed my drink aside, gazed deeply into Vanessa's eyes, and expressed, "If you cannot honor my passions, then you cannot honor me, and I cannot envision a future with someone who diminishes my worth." The atmosphere grew thick with anticipation. The air was thick with anticipation as I sensed the gaze of others drifting between Amelia and me, eager to witness her reaction. And there she was, gazing at me with wide eyes, her lips parting just a bit before blossoming into a shy laugh, as if she could brush this aside with a smile. Yet there was no laughter in my heart. I gently took her finger, removed the engagement ring, and tucked it away in my pocket. Soft breaths escaped, a few soft murmurs. Someone near the bar whispered, "Oh my." Yet I chose not to dwell on their responses. This moment was meant for us alone. In silence, I pivoted and stepped away. The gentle, thoughtful choice to step away from an environment where my worth was unmistakably overlooked. I chose not to glance back at her expression. For the first time in ages, I felt a profound clarity about my place in the world. Initially, Amelia held back from making contact. Not a single message, not a single call has come through. Silence envelopes the moment. To be truthful, it didn't catch me off guard. She had always carried a quiet strength, reluctant to acknowledge her missteps, hesitant to confront moments that might cast her in an unflattering light. After the party, she likely experienced a deep sense of vulnerability, not only because I walked away while she was surrounded by her friends, but also because I chose to do it in my own way. I had stepped into a new light, no longer the subject of their laughter. I was the one who chose to turn away. For someone like Vanessa, who placed great importance on how things appeared, that must have been a deep ache. Yet, after a few weeks, the stillness was finally pierced. Unexpectedly, a message from her appeared. The journey felt lengthy, yet the expressions unfolded with a familiar rhythm. I've been reflecting deeply on the moments we shared. I didn't intend for it to come across that way. Your respect means a great deal to me. I was merely teasing, unaware of the impression it left behind. May we share a moment of conversation? I read it and paused, allowing the words to wash over me, embracing their depth. If she had reached out with this message right after the party, perhaps, just perhaps, I would have felt the sincerity behind her words. Perhaps I would have believed she experienced a fleeting lapse in judgment and truly felt remorseful. Yet, after weeks of quietude, after pretending as if nothing transpired, no, this was not about remorse. This was about navigating the delicate balance of emotions. She wasn't reaching out, perhaps sensing the weight of her actions and the impact they had on our connection. She was reaching out, feeling uneasy about the impression it left on friends and family who anticipated our wedding. I felt a wave of calm wash over me. I held no resentment. For the first time, everything feels so vivid and alive. Amelia had always held a distance from my achievements. She had endured my career, yet she had never genuinely honored it. She longed for a partner who seamlessly blended into the tapestry of her life. A companion she could proudly present in her professional life. A person adorned with a title that spoke volumes without the need for words. And that wasn't who I am. It was never truly me. I responded, not with malice, nor to provoke a debate, but simply to bring that chapter to a gentle close. Your message resonates with me deeply. I send you my warmest wishes, Vanessa. I truly do. Perhaps it's time for us to embrace new beginnings. Concise, straightforward, and conclusive. Her silence spoke volumes, and deep down, I understood it would remain unbroken. In that instant, everything became clear to me. I was worthy of more. I longed for a partner who not only accepted my dreams, but truly embraced and cherished them. A person who would always embrace my passion, no matter if we were in solitude or surrounded by a crowd. And once I embraced the clarity of my decision, I gathered my belongings and departed. My small town had cradled me in its familiar embrace for far too long, and I refused to linger there, shadowed by the echoes of a life that nearly unfolded. For as long as I can remember, I have envisioned elevating my photography, and there was only one city that called to me: New York. It felt daunting and lavish, yet for the first time in ages, I was choosing something solely for my own pleasure. With unwavering resolve and a heart full of passion, a man pursues the essence of his desires, and that embraced a profound sense of liberation. I began embracing every opportunity that came my way: fashion shoots, events, travel gigs, anything that would push my boundaries and enrich my portfolio. I poured my heart into my efforts, and this time, it resonated in a way that was profoundly unique. It felt as though I was crafting something deeply personal, something that no one could diminish. As the months flowed by, I found myself not merely existing, but flourishing in ways I had never imagined. Then one day, an email arrived that transformed my world. A photograph of mine has captured the attention of judges, making it to the shortlist for a prestigious international award. Initially, I believed it might be a misunderstanding. I found myself going over the email again and again, each time hoping to uncover a different reality, yet it remained undeniably true. Amidst a sea of countless creations from every corner of the globe, my piece emerged as a chosen one. As I gazed at the screen, my heart swelled with a mix of disbelief and joy upon seeing my name shining as the winner. Not due to disbelief, but rather from a deep understanding of the truth. I have always held a deep faith in my own abilities, even in moments when others doubted me. And now, the world was awakening to the truth I had always felt deep within. I excelled in my craft, pouring my heart and soul into every moment. I wonder if Amelia ever caught a glimpse of the news. Perhaps she felt a twinge of sorrow over the way it all concluded. Perhaps she had persuaded herself that her beliefs were true from the very beginning. Yet in truth, it holds little significance for me. That chapter of my life has come to a gentle close. What I do know is this. Among all that I gained after stepping away, the most profound victory wasn't the accolade. It wasn't the acknowledgement. For the first time in what felt like ages, I found myself enveloped by the warmth of those who truly cherish my presence. Those who truly appreciated my work recognized it for its depth, beyond mere glamorous selfies. And among them was someone who not only appreciated my efforts, but held them in deep regard. A person who truly recognized my essence and always embraced me without diminishing my spirit. In a relationship, the essence of respect is something that cannot be compromised. I came to understand that through experience. When someone consistently mocks your aspirations, even if their laughter accompanies the words, even if they label it as humor, it's essential to take note. Jokes like that carry weight. They aren't without consequence. They reveal the depths of how that person perceives you. If they fail to honor your efforts, they fail to honor you. End of story. I reassured myself it was trivial, that her words held no weight, that perhaps I was overreacting. Yet, as I reflect, the clarity unfolds before me. A person who truly cares for you cherishes the things that bring you joy. They embrace your journey, honoring the unique beauty of your path without diminishing your spirit. I turned away, aware that remaining would mean sacrificing my essence. Believe me, it was a challenge. Ending an engagement in front of a crowd, not quite the way I envisioned this moment unfolding. But I will share this. I have never felt remorse for prioritizing my self-respect over a connection that left me feeling inadequate. In moments like these, when you find yourself with someone who diminishes your fervor, pause and reflect. Do I truly wish to dedicate my life to demonstrating my value to someone who chooses not to acknowledge it? Because it's not necessary. The one meant for you will recognize your worth effortlessly, without the need for persuasion. In any case, that's the tale I have to share. Now, I long to hear your thoughts. Have you ever experienced something like this? How would you have responded if you were in my situation? Share your reflections in the comments. I absorbed each and every one. If this story resonated with you, please show your appreciation by hitting that like button. It offers a depth of support beyond what you might realize.